All right, so it should be up again. Yeah, stream should be back. Thank you very much for your patience, guys. There we go. Yeah, OBS crashed for some reason. Right, so we were talking about preparations right now. So we finished everything. So departure route. Give a quick overview before we depart here. Push back. So departing on the runway 21 left. And that's going to be the Kia to Foxtrot, I think I put in here. Let me just check. There we go, Kia to Foxtrot.
Blackwells, I've been making a note of some of the questions. Shall I just fly through them while you're
that will really help. Thank you.
Okay, so hopefully this will answer quite a lot of people's questions. Let me know if I'm going too fast, but performance, EFB to MCDU, yes, Duncan added a feature where you can just hit the takeoff uplink button and it'll copy everything from the EFB into the MCDU. We did have a feature where you can double click your way through it, but that was too slow for even us. So now we've got a button that does that. SimBrief integration works exactly the same way as P3D. We do pull in more of the weight stuff. I think SimBrief Navgraph have done a really good job of sort of adding more and more data into the sort of dispatch process. So we're pulling all that into the AOC, and the AOC parses that. Someone asked about EIS-1. So no, we're not going to support EIS-1, basically because it would be a huge rewrite of the core electrical network that supports all of the communication between the aircraft systems. We've got something like 100,000 wires that are simulated in the aircraft. So in order to do EIS-1, it would be a massive undertake. And given that those aircraft are sort of being phased out anyway with NEOs, it doesn't really make much sense. We'd prefer to work on a NEO. In regards to the EFB, the wallpapers can be changed. We're using exactly the same system as we had in P3D. So the aircraft, the airframes can be customized with their own checklists. You can have your own airline packs, so PA announcements. All the airframes can be configured the same as P3D, so you can specify the empty weight, dry operating weight of the aircraft. So you can set the airframes up exactly as you could in P3D. So each airframe is individual, and we wanted to carry that through to MSFS. The EFB map is now integrated with Navigraph, so we've got a new Navigraph app in our EFB that supports a moving map, and we've carried over all of our overlays. So you can overlay air traffic areas, traffic, weather areas, SIGMETs, any ATC areas that support CPDLC. So all of the features that our customers in P3D were used to, we've carried those forwards. Printers, we've integrated the printers the same as they were in P3D, so they work exactly the same if people have got hardware. The small printers, the laser printers, we still support those. And also pushover support, so you can push your telex ACARS messages through to a mobile phone or other tablet device. And then a couple of questions on the NEOs. Yes, Leaps and Pratts. On the Leaps, we're doing the 32s and the 33s on the 321s. And then 2024, we're still working on it, and we're just allowing the dust to settle on the platform a little before we push out a free upgrade to that platform.
Okay.
So that's the questions that I had penned down in the last sort of 10 or 15 minutes. I hope that's answered most of them.
Perfect. And one question was, I remember that when you get an uplink through CPDLC, route uplink, can you downlink that into the MCDU, into the flight plan?
Yes.
There we go. That answered the... Yeah, people say that the YouTube stream is not working. Let me just check that really quickly.
I just read a question about the MSFS mouse system instead of using the scroll wheel. So we did, if I may answer this quickly, we did actually make two options available. You could have your old trusted P3D style where you can left and right click things on knobs. And also you can have the Asobo style click spot system where everything goes blue and you can turn using the mouse, the left mouse button. You can use the knobs to switch to left and right cursors and things like that. So both options are there and we're very proud of that.
Yeah, excellent. Can you ask the team if they will open up an official Discord? I guess for support.
That's an ongoing debate currently in-house. So we don't know the answer to that yet.
Right, so then we continue with preparations. So let me just do that real quickly. And I was going to show you guys the map, which yesterday was nice because yesterday there were actually some thunderstorms around the area. So here, for example, you can see some weather as well en route. So this is one of the really cool features I see here in the EFB. So it will draw in weather as an example. Also, I think if I remember correctly, you can show other traffic on VATSIM, correct?
Yes.
Nice. So if you're flying along with your buddies, you can see them on here, which is great. Thank you, Nige. Cool. All right, so we've done the preparations. We are going to fly and depart now. So now that we're ready, I'm going to tell the cabin that we're ready for the departure. Have them move the...
Captain crew, please arm your doors for departure. Thank you.
There we go. There's Norman. Good old friend Norman. There we go. We have the doors going to arm now. And
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls.
now for the pushback, all I need to do is actually... Well, let me do the preparations first. Just like I would do in real life. So don't have to manually get the external power removed. That happens automatically when we get the pushback. Oh yeah, and there is, of course, not forgetting to show that here, again here, straight away in the documents folder, there's tutorials. So you already have a huge array of documents showing you how to operate the aircraft, some examples. You have standard operating procedures, as an example, you know, how to power up the aircraft, etc., etc. You have some supplementary procedures, manual engine start procedure. So all those guys that love the, you know, the more detailed things, cross-speed start, etc. De-icing on ground, as an example. So there's no need to get any external data, external documents. You can find that here very nicely. Also, checklist if you want. You can use the inbuilt checklist here if you like. So let's go through the before start, and it tells you as well what you have to do with the integration, GSX, and so on. So cockpit preparations have been completed, gearpins covers removed, signs are on and auto. And then you have the signs, so on fuel quantity was 7,640 kilograms, and that is balanced. So the init B was loaded, takeoff data is set regarding V164, VR166, V2168. We have flex 58. We've got the start clear. So bar ref is now 1014 set on all three altimeters. And then we have start clearance, windows, doors closed. Make sure they are closed, right? You see the red ring there? Doors closed, cockpit door closed. Good on that. Then we have the beacon on. Thrust levers idle, parking brake is on. Right. So now we set the init RAT switch to init to start the GSX pushback.
And a good thing you checked your cockpit window too, because you'd be in for a surprise if you left it open even a tad.
I remember the stories where people complaining saying the Airbus is broken because I can't pressurize the cabin. And the people sort of check your window.
Yeah.
So let me just give you a bit of an outside view here. So something that's good point. I missed that completely regarding the wear and tear indications on the outside, especially regarding the brakes and so on. Cool. And you hear that clacking noise again, typical CFM. The wind rotating the fan blades. Yeah, sorry, apologies for the people on YouTube. Yeah, you had to click on the new link to get back to the new stream. That is YouTube thing, so if OBS dies, it creates a new link for the stream, which is a bit weird, but that's just the way it is. I wish I could show you everything, all the new features, because remember guys, the things with icing, but I'm sure on the next couple of streams we'll be able to demonstrate that as well. And again, it's just the overall, you know, features that that are here in the FSLabs, where you always have to think about, okay, is there something to consider today, right? Will there something like icing, will it have an effect on the aircraft? You know, does it have consequences? So just like in P3D here, it does have consequences. Right, so let's see, any other questions? Man, I can say I'm used to streaming normally, but I have to say that having so many people, so many questions, it's unusual for me as well. Can you fill out in the EFB such a takeoff calculate weights and send it to the MCD? Yes, I've just done that, haven't I? Yeah, already answered, yeah. The remaining EFB... Did you already call in a release parking brake? I forgot. Let me just see. Oh yeah, and one thing, what you can do regarding the pushback directions and so on, if you want, you can go into options, external control GSX, and then you can actually select. I'm not sure if you can see that, right? So normally you would have to do an you know, quick edit pushback yourself, but there are certain profiles already, some standard taxi pushback included. So we're going to be facing, we're going to be facing northeast.
You need to set parking brakes to request ground services.
Hang on, let me just.
You need to set parking brakes to request ground services.
That's GSX stuff again. Unfortunately, let me just see that. So let me go options, external controls, GSX. Andy, what am I missing here right now?
If you go to the EFB, that might be easier to see, because the EFB, we've integrated the tooltips from GSX, and it will show you if GSX is waiting on the user to,
okay, there we go.
To do an action. So that's why we've kind of integrated these menus in the MCDU and the EFB as backups. So all of our GSX integration is sort of through the aircraft systems. Some of it is through the AOC system, some of it is through the configuration of the aircraft. So it will detect when the aircraft is configured for a certain situation, and then it will trigger GSX.
Okay.
But in the event that something goes wrong, or you're doing something differently, or you've got a mail item that you know, it doesn't make that recognizable by GSX, then we've integrated the menu as well. So you can activate that on the services ground page on the EFB. It'll pop up the GSX menu, and then you could use it just as you would have before.
Okay, so guide me through that, please. So on the main page right now.
On the ground service on the EFB, yeah. If you click on services, it should pop up the GSX menu.
Connections first.
Yeah. Oh, there we go. Services. You see, I'm blind.
Services.
There we go. So that's actually what I was looking for. Continue pushback, I think it was. There we go. Now, okay, I didn't see that before. You said always done that through the MCDU, silly me. Okay, so there we go. So I want to go on taxiway Echo facing northeast. There we go. Right, let's see.
No, I think the system got confused because you tried to do you tried to select the push direction after you requested pushback, but the feature we've added to the AOC is that it automatically reads in all of the GSX properties for the gate that you're sat at.
Ah, okay.
So before departure, you can go into the AOC and say, we're going to need to push nose left. And you can set that up. And then when you're ready, you can either call into GSX through the MCDU AOC system, or it will detect when you're ready for pushback through the ACP init rad switch.
Excellent.
And then you can change the pushback direction if you need to. So if ATC give you a different clearance, you can go in and change it again.
Perfect. Thank you much. You see, that one I didn't see yet, even though I've done a couple of flights, but I've always been looking into the MCDU there. Okay, nice. Cool. It's probably somewhere in the manual. I didn't read it.
I think so, yeah. It might be a good point just to mention that we're doing the same thing with the gate assignment on landing. So our P3D customers will remember that you get your gate assignment via ACARS when you're flying. So it's another part of our airlines pack that we offer. We also list all of the different gates that the different airlines use at different airports. So if you're in the cruise, you'll get an ACARS from the company that will tell you what gate you've been assigned.
Nice.
And we then pass that into GSX so that on landing, you don't need to do anything. It will just tell GSX what gate you're going to.
That's cool.
And you can also specify if you want the follow me. So it's really cool to, especially at night, you can land at night, having set all this up in the cruise, pull off the runway, and you've got a follow me waiting for you, and it'll take you to your gate. So that's a really nice feature.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah. That's really nice. I mean, yes, that means you have to read the manual at the beginning to make sure that you're not missing those things, just like me just now. But that's really cool. All right, just starting the engines as always. Just going to dial the sim sounds up again, so you guys can hear that better. Yes, so good question was, are we getting the IAEs? Oh yeah, are we? We've got the wing tip fences, with the IAE and the CFMs, and you have the sharklets as well, right? With CFM and the IAE.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, so we've got 4 variants.
But the question was, are we able to speak on the PA like in P3D? So
Yes, that's still there.
there we go. So it's still there, guys. I would have been surprised if that was not the case. So we have good engine start. Let's do the rest of the items here. Get ready for taxi. Flaps coming 1. APU off. Just seen the all clear signal. There he goes. And I hope you can see, guys, how nice the integrated GSX is here with the FSLabs. And that way, not having to pull up a different menu, right, which I usually do here through the Flow Pro here, it just adds to the immersion. Will there be a feature which allows you to load frequency directly from the CPDLC into the radio management panel?
Yeah, I haven't seen that. I've seen we do auto handovers. So if you get a CPDLC handover to the next sector that's using CPDLC, then auto handovers are integrated. We do. I don't know if anyone else does this, but the feature where you can receive a direct to via CPDLC and it integrates into the flight plan.
Yeah.
FMGC. So that works. But I've not seen. Is that in the new? There's a new radio panel, isn't there? And the Neos and some of the Sharks have got it as well.
I think so. I think that's what they're referring to.
So yeah, I don't want to give too much away, but we're reserving some features for the Neo. So
yeah, exactly. That was like somebody was saying that's only for the digital RMPs. Yeah.
Yes, exactly. Yeah.
Another question was from what's here. Will there be an installer updater like with the Phoenix, so an external app to update?
So yeah, actually that's a good question. People are very familiar with our control center application, so that's now into version 2, and it'll be handling everything, all the install, update, liveries. We have quite a big number of liveries available for you in day 1. So yeah, Control Center is what you need.
Yeah, so that comes, which makes a lot of things updating a lot more comfortable. Can you ask if they reworked the sounds from P3D?
Yes. I think all of the sounds are reworked. There's only a few that weren't touched, and I think that's because the pilot said they didn't need changing. But the engine sounds, all of the system sounds around the aircraft, they've all been redone.
Perfect.
I did see a question just come in about PDC on the DCDU. You only get that in the States, don't you? That's not something that European guys would send through. Normally it comes through as an ACARS, doesn't it, in Europe?
Yeah, I think
in the US the system's different, isn't it? You have to log on to a system to get your PDC.
Yeah, the thing in the US is you just log on to Kilo Uniform Sierra Alpha, so KUSA, and then once the clearance is ready, it'll already be uplinked automatically for you. But usually, yeah, exactly, that's KUSA, and the rest. So this is a bit different to the European system. Will the control center be different or the same? I'm not sure exactly what he means.
Well, Control Center version 2 is a complete rewrite, but you will feel right at home with it because it feels the same as number 1 or version 1, but a lot of new features are in there.
Yeah, thank you. And getting a lot more questions regarding will there be a working weather radar? Now, again, let me ask Left Harrison. So maybe somebody just joined now, didn't hear the answer before.
Oh yeah, sorry. Weather radar, we didn't feel that the version that's available through Asobo is the appropriate one to put in an Airbus system. So, it's only a 2D representation, which we feel is not representative of what a 321 would have. So while we're working on a solution, we are not making it available yet.
I think that's what a lot of developers have as an issue, right? I mean, maybe somebody in chat can tell me an airliner in Microsoft Flight Sim 2020 that has a working weather radar system. I mean, a proper working system.
I think there are developers, I think Working Title, who are trying to offer something like that, but it's not ready yet for everybody. So it's not in the SDK. So it's not available. The one that's in the SDK does not represent an Airbus weather radar, so we elected not to put it in.
Yeah. Some people asking for some wing views there. Let me just put that there for the takeoff. So shared cockpit, you are referring to the Microsoft app, aren't you? So yes, Left Terrace already answered that one earlier. There's working on there, yes.
Yeah, just be careful with that, because if you guys are using your controls, it needs either to be uninstalled or it needs an update from them, which we suggested what to do, but it's really not under our control. So it's something they need to put in, the developers of your controls. Otherwise, it's going to crash your system because it reads too many gauges in panel config files. In fact, it's one of the features that Control Center will warn you about. So if it detects that you have an old version, a current version of your controls that doesn't support it, it'll warn you in big red letters that it'll crash your system. And if I may take this opportunity to say that there is a new FSU IPC coming out that we work together with John Dawson to make compatible with our product, because there were some glitch that was causing the brakes to not be on, the parking brakes, so the thing would just continue to roll if FSU IPC had auto started with MSFS. So yeah, in collaboration with other developers, we're making sure that everything goes smooth, and Control Center will alert you on that as well.
So the people ask about taxing. So taxing is pretty much the same principle as on the P3 version. So you have a pedal disconnect switch. So you can model that to a button on your keyboard, for example, or map that on a button on your joystick or some other peripheral. And that way it will be linked, so the nose wheel steering will be linked directly to the rudder pedals, so you can then smoothly adjust that for your taxiing needs. Now for me, I have not modeled that on a switch yet on my joystick, because I don't have a switch left over on my joystick. So I'm reaching for my keyboard, so it does look a bit clunky, but trust me, you can do that now quite nicely and fluidly if you model that or map that correctly. All right, then let's go flying. So we've done all that. Packs are on. Let me start the chrono here, and let me see my hand here. All right, let's go. So as always with Manflex 58 SOS runway auto thrust blue. There's 100 knots. Rotate. So 321, you've got to be careful rotating, not trying to get a tail strike, 'cause then you're going to be in for a surprise. We're going to showcase that some other day, not today. So people ask me about how does it feel, how's the flight model, and I can say that what I really like is, let's stop rudder input, interesting. So it is nice and direct, so something I feel is a little bit more alive compared to the Phoenix, but again, I'm sure that some other people probably have a different view on that, but the way I feel, controlling the A321 here, it's just very nice, very direct, very smooth, and that comes then to fruition, especially in the flare. This is something I noticed, and a lot of people have been not happy with the Phoenix. So the Phoenix sometimes feels very floaty. So feeling of weight, in my opinion, yes. So it does feel like you have a bit of inertia there, and again in the flare, we'll see that in the landing on in Larnaca. In my opinion, it just is a lot better controllable. So the way you start the flare, you get the aircraft nicely just settling above the runway onto that ground cushion or ground air cushion, and then as you reduce the thrust, the aircraft then settles down nicely. It doesn't feel as floaty as the Phoenix.
We join you in the cabin shortly.
So we've got a speed restriction here, 210 knots. Yeah, I think V1 made a really good video regarding comparison of the TOLIS to the Phoenix, right? And so the only thing that I can add to that is that I find it difficult comparing flight models over different flights and platforms, because obviously there are some things, influences like aerodynamic model, the influence of wind on the airframe, and I have just one issue with X-Plane 12 at the moment, and that is that in my opinion the crosswind influence is just too big in X-Plane 12. So that makes controlling the aircraft on landing, especially when it's kind of gusty wind, really difficult. And I don't think that's really true to life. So these comparisons are always, I don't know, difficult, let's say. So for me, when I look at a flight model, so I have an add-on and I look for a flight model, and especially with the Airbus having the fly-by-wire system, So it is augmentating, stabilizing the aircraft for you. Yeah, we're still on 210 knots at the moment, so I can't raise the flaps because of the green knot speed. So right now it is around 216. So 210 is the limit. Probably can't see that. Let me just dial down the... right, so that's 210 knots there, right? So here we go, standard set. Yeah, I'm going to dial up further. And also performance values, I find them really nice. So pitch power looks very, very accurate. But, I mean, I can go in, through some documents and try to get some imperial data on that. But just like the P3D, because they asked me to check those values on many occasions, and they adjusted it to the real-world values. So I'm pretty sure the same is here. There we go. Good slats retracting. Nice sounds as well. Oh, Numak, that's a good question, Numak. He's asking, can we customize the EFB?
Yeah, same as you could in P3D. Exactly the same. So you can do custom checklists, backgrounds, things like that. I think button themes and things. So yeah, it's very customizable.
Yeah. Another very good question was, is the VHF-1 sound adjustable for VATSIM? Is there any add-ons on Microsoft that can do that? I only found that to be available in X-Plane.
Yeah, our ACP will control the volume of etc.
Oh, so that volume knob does actually, in fact, also adjust the volume on vPilot. Nice. Okay, that's really cool. I didn't even know that existed. Another question was, did the A321 see a Neo? Oh yeah, the Neos. Sorry, I saw the question earlier on. I do apologize for not answering sooner. So Neo, maybe I missed that, Lefteris, earlier regarding Neo plans.
What kind of plans?
Regarding development, timeline, etc., or anything.
Oh, the Neo is in development, and we're keeping our cards close to the chest for that. But it's in development right now. I mean, we showed pictures on the website. You can see for yourself what it looks like. And so we're going to be coming out with more news within the next couple of days, I think, or maybe next week.
Yeah, can you show the cabin? Now, the thing is, so is there a quick viewpoint somewhere?
You'd have to fly into it using drone mode.
Okay. Let me just get into the...
I don't know if your viewers have keen eyes or how anybody has gone on Volante to see. Some people have spotted some of our dev and beta team flying Neos. So, if that answers your question.
Yeah, I know that they have. Is that Chaseplane? No, Chaseplane doesn't work here yet. And somebody says the Phoenix had the volume adjustment in version 2. I have never used that then. Okay, that has passed me without me noticing. Apologies. So I don't know why. So my drone view was working earlier regarding... Oh, I know why. Okay, there we go. All right, so somebody's asking regarding going into the cabin. Yeah, apologies. So you can go into the cabin from the outside, and as you said, you are working on a different setup at some point in the future.
Yeah, we have big plans in the cabin.
Yeah. So it is modeled, but it will have to be set up differently.
It actually fills up with passengers if GSX decides to send you some.
Yeah, I think people have deactivated that mostly because it has a pretty big FPS hit.
Oh yeah, absolutely. That's true.
Yeah.
Blackbox, I saw a couple of questions about FMGC's features, etc.
Yeah.
Mind if I gave a quick rundown?
Yeah, sure, go ahead.
What's kind of what we've added?
Yeah.
So we've added RTA constant Mach offsets and step times. So there are improvements there over what you've seen from our P3D offerings, and there's an ongoing commitment from us to add more. And RMPAR. We have also added RMPAR, and there's a commitment from us to continue developing some of the features there that we'd love to get in there.
Yeah. So RMP authorization required approaches. There's so many now worldwide that requires the ability for the aircraft, so it has to be licensed, certified. So here in the FSLabs has that. Yeah, so route offset. So right, let's say we choose right 4 as an example. Right, so it draws that in. So let's say you want to divert around a thunderstorm, right? Thunderstorm cell there. All right, you don't have to ask ATC for vectors. You could just simply call them and say, hey, can we go right 10 miles off centerline to avoid the thunderstorm, etc. So that is now nicely implemented. Does equitime work? I think you had that working in P3D, correct? So there's a lot of, or maybe I'm confusing that with something else. Yeah,
we don't have ETPs.
Yeah, then I confuse that with
yet.
Yet. Okay, yeah.
I do remember there's a setting to turn that yellow box off. So just so that your viewers are aware, there is a setting for that. I don't remember off the top of my head where or guided you to it.
Yeah,
this is actually indicating that what it's doing right then is keyboard capturing. So you can be in that box. If it's yellow, you can do keyboard capturing for your MCDU.
Yeah, typing in values there. Yeah,
sure.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, but I'm sure there's a setting somewhere. And like I said, I had to install this on a different hard drive because I ruined my Microsoft 2020 on my first drive.
Oh yeah, for sure. There is a setting, and if I find it within the stream time, I'll let people know.
Yeah, so there we go. So I'm just typing the QNH now through my keyboard. Yeah, that works nicely. So you don't have to go and type in the MCD if you don't want to.
Same goes for the EFB, of course.
Yeah. Hey, SMC, so nice to see you. And yeah, so the yellow box, yeah, you can apparently get rid of that through the menu setting somewhere in Microsoft. There we go. Will there be a A321 Neo long range?
Long-term development plans are in place, but we won't be divulging too much yet for that.
Yeah.
Andy already said that there's already all kinds of plans for wide body and so on. So, yeah.
Nice. Yeah, somebody asking for night lighting. So let me just. I'm not sure. Will it mess things up if I go change the time to nighttime now in the sim here?
No, shouldn't do. No.
Okay. So then we can just let me already dial up some of the lights here. So that obviously. Yeah, always to ask again. Yeah, so that was answered earlier regarding wide bodies. So of course, lots of plans, but yeah, don't ask for any timelines and so on. One by one.
Regarding 2024, I love these questions because there's going to be a free upgrade, but at the moment there's a good group of developers who are a little bit concerned because the debugging tools that are supposed to work in 2024 are not working. They're crashing the sim. So unfortunately, Asobo needs to fix that, and I think that they're a little bit more concerned with stability of the actual sim before they give attention to those tools. So we'll be a little more patient with them before we draw our attention to 2024, make it more of a stable platform before we release. But I just want to reiterate here for anyone who hasn't heard, this is going to be a free upgrade in 2024.
So there, we just zoomed in now on the display, so you actually see the pixels on the screen there. So just give me a peek.
Yeah, actually, that comes with a Sobo flight simulator. It's a great feature. They've done a great job in the displays.
Yeah, nice. And also you can see the bleed through here on the displays, on the edges.
I think you still got all of your lights on full bright. If you turn them down, make it moody, it looks a lot better.
Yeah. There we go.
Sorry, on the floodlights, not on the displays. Yeah.
That, and then hang on, I'm just going to into the other view here. So there we go. Yeah, I can see it nicely adjustable bit by bit, so you can make that exactly to your liking preferences. Very nice. What's the flight warning computer standard for the FSLabs here in Max 2020? Someone asks. Hey, MAN.
Oh, I'm sorry, I don't remember that off the top of my head. I'm sure I'll post it somewhere if I remember the question later. Yeah.
Hey, Geep. Thank you much for the raid. Welcome, guys. Yeah, so regarding FPS performance, guys, I did some testing this afternoon because I was also interested in finding out how that is. And Phoenix and the FSLabs here, pretty much exactly the same. So maybe 1 or 2 FPS difference, but overall, so the performance that you have in the Phoenix, you're going to have here as well. That much I can say for sure.
So, Blackbox, very quickly to answer the previous question, our sharklets are at F9C. And our wingtip fences are at F3P.
Okay, there we go. So somebody who knows exactly what those words mean. Will this be available in 2024? Well, yes, they are working on it. So they did. And you said it was a free upgrade, correct?
Absolutely, yeah.
There we go. As far as I've heard, no exact date regarding release, so they're working as hard as they can and quickly as they can. Yeah, I think you can see that on the stream as well. It is smooth. It is very nice. Someone's saying, can they fix the terrain on nav display phone on the top of the bottom? Like, these are some of the things I honestly sometimes I admire people who have such good vision and memory that something's not exactly as it should be compared to real aircraft. I would never notice. How long has the A321 been in development for Microsoft Flight Sim? Somebody's asking.
Ever
4
since
years.
it came out. Yeah.
4 years. Well, that's a long time, right? And I have to say, guys, so it says on the bottom there, it's not a finished product yet, so it's still work in progress, right? But I honestly can say that I've not had a aircraft add-on given to me that feels already so finished. So that doesn't mean it's going to come out soon, right? Not saying that, just saying that it's nice to see an add-on, working in a state where, yeah, you're really happy with it already. So, tray table, somebody wants to have, sure thing. Oh, then the question: will there be a spotlight version? Does it need one?
No, it doesn't need spotlights. Everything's integrated. I'm thinking that your screen, the windshield, has some bugs on it.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. So there's 2 more features, of course, with the windshield. So one of them here, the bug splatter, right? They will continue to get more and more as you fly along, more and more often. There are then options, of course, prior to departure. You can have your windshields cleaned in the menus there. And another cool feature, Andy, correct me if I'm wrong, but just like IRL, so let me just go back to night lighting. So Airbus pilots will tell you that in theory it's all nice to have such a icing pin indicator, right, with an integral light in it. But truth is, in the real world as well, you can I mean, you can see the lighting there, but you're supposed to see icing on top of that. No, you can't. And in the real world, you can't as well. So at nighttime, what we do, we actually take a flashlight and shine it on here to see icing. You can do that here in the sim as well. And during daytime, obviously, you would visually check for icing cues. And so FSLabs does simulate that. So icing accretion here on the pin, correct?
That's correct, yeah. And it actually decays very slowly if you get icing.
So what happens?
Yeah.
Yeah. What happens if you get airframe icing and you didn't de-ice the aircraft on the ground? How badly does it affect the aircraft when it flies?
It depends on the icing, the different type of icing. So if you've got snow on the airframe, generally speaking, you might be all right. It'll just wash off on takeoff, and I'm sure everyone's seen that video of the Aeroflot that did that.
Yeah.
And climbed away.
Amazing.
Freezing rain, freezing frog is what's going to shorten your flight quite considerably. If you try and take off in that without de-icing, you'll last a couple of minutes and before the wing loses lift. So it's dependent on the weather that you're flying in.
Yeah. So it does have consequences, guys. So
yeah.
Yeah, and as you would expect, or as you had in the P3 version, so anything you need regarding documents of the icing and the QRH, for example, you will have the tables for that. So the icing, for example, there we go. So this is also integrated, nicely done now. So those people that done the documents here, great job, really nice. And again, it all comes with the aircraft. So those that do care about these procedures and lifelike de-icing procedures, they are there. Right? Okay, people are spamming the chat, wanting me to go outside at nighttime. I shall do so. Making sure that we have all the necessary lights on. I think we have everything on as we should. So it's incredible. Sometimes, yeah, I mean, these are things I don't go that often outside, or again, I'm not such a visual oriented person, but yeah, I see a lot of people are caring about that. So you can look inside the cabin here as well. See, the cabin is nicely lit. And then let me just put on the landing lights real quickly. Right, I'm seeing spent too much time on the ground. Regarding jump forward feature, is that safe to use? Or, I mean, I've tried it once, it worked. I'm not sure if we want to showcase that on stream.
I don't see why not. It's worked in testing.
No. Our question was regarding the engine type in the Neo. Is it Pratt & Whitney, or are these LEAP engines?
We're going to talk about it when we have more news coming for the Neo.
Okay, there we go.
People really want to see the sunshades. Huh.
Okay, you're going to have to tell me though regarding the click spot to get it back down again. Let me see. So there's one click spot there.
Are they talking about the Captain sunshades on the top, the visors, or that?
Oh, okay. There's visors as well. Let me see. So that. Oh, there we go. So you have to grab it and pull it. Okay, there we go. Yeah. I would never tested that, but people want to see that. Okay, cool.
Of course. Eye candy is important.
Yeah, absolutely. There we go. Oh yeah, that clips on nicely. Okay, cool. Yeah, so cabin announcements. Am I allowed to say that in the downloader or the CC center? You're going to have liveries and you're going to have airline packs, just like I had before. So, you know, and I'm sure that people will be making their own sound files for the announcements and so on. But yeah, it's pretty much the same as it was on P3D. So fully customizable. Oh, okay, so a question coming in regarding, probably answered that before, 321 CO Neo, or will there be a follow-up with the A320 as well?
That falls back into the news announcement stuff that's coming.
Okay. Will liveries be shared on flightsim.to as well? So can people download liveries there and get it installed here in the Phoenix? Sorry, in the FSLabs.
I'm going to skip over that one. The base liveries will all come via control center, of course. If you want to add, your own, then you are free to do so, and you can upload to wherever, really.
Okay. Right, Jano.
Someone wants to stay home to plan their holidays.
Yeah, I just read that as well. That's a nice way to pose such a question.
Well, I know I don't have plans for my holidays, if that says anything.
A nice reply as well. Yeah, so the mini FCU, etc., will be looked at. Same with the Scalaki integration. So there's testing going on. Someone asked that when hey Harry. Okay, so people still want. They're really excited about the Neos, which I can understand because obviously Neos these days, there's hardly any COs being delivered anymore these days. I think so. Mostly it's going to be the Neos. So people are always anxious about timelines. But just reiterate, there's no fixed timeline yet. You can announce that soon.
Yeah, and you know what? I think that if you get the CO, you'll get the feel of what it feels to fly an A321 and the flight model that we've worked on. So
Nice.
It gives you time to become familiar with the procedures and all that stuff. And then the Neo is not going to fall behind too far, you know?
Yeah. Okay, guys, I'm going to use, because we're a bit hard pressed on time. I don't want to stretch too far into Johnny's stream. So what we're going to do, we're going to use the jump ahead feature. So I'm going to select the waypoint, Dasni, that's on the arrival routing. And
Ladies and gentlemen, take full advantage
let me
of
just
your
check what we have to have there as
Make some amazing savings without boutique
an
range. In
altitude,
your in-flight
half force
brochure, you'll find
130.
details of our award-winning
So
service
let me
tickets
put in
and
290 there.
Make the
Speed is
most of your
good.
opportunity to
So
shop
now we're
and
going to
save
jump
in the
ahead.
comfort of your seat. If you'd like to see any products,
Confirm the
questions,
jump.
or would like to make great savings, then just ask us. We join you in the cabin.
Can you show the EFB again? Yeah, we'll do that in a minute. Let me just jump to the new waypoint there.
And I think because you had the offset route, it adjusted to the left a bit.
Yeah, exactly. So people already saw that we had GPS loss there. Okay, we'll get to that in a second again. So let me just go there direct again. Let's go Paphos direct, insert level 290. Let's go down there, fantastic, that worked beautifully. And so now we have a remaining flight time of only about 20 minutes. That's much better. Because I do want to show you the landing, like I said, and I'll talk you through the landing, see how it feels like. So the whole menus regarding the EFB, that's also a good point. So initially we talked about the tech lock. And like I said before, hey MCK, like I said before, this whole topic with the tech lock, with the MEL, etc., we can cover that or we would need about 1 to 2 hours to cover that, to fully, explain everything in that regard. It doesn't do it justice here to just, quickly go through a few things here. It doesn't really explain much. So this whole feature is a, worth talking about on a different stream. Atabico, muchas gracias. Take care. And Duncan, again, the developer, will then guide us through that, make sure we don't miss anything. But we'll do that next week sometime. I'll make an announcement on that. Yeah, so the normal things we have there, mass and balance. All right, so when you upload that from SimBrief, it autofills that for you. Then documents I've already shown. So lots of stuff with tutorial documents, checklists, MEL. That's of course a very important integral part with that new feature with the MEL, or the technical defects that will pop up from time to time. So it's not as if you're going to have any huge issues. All right. So it can happen, obviously, just like in real life. You may, if you have opted to have failures active, so service-based failures. You can select manual failures if you like. But these things, for example, mean time between failures, correct me if I'm wrong, that is pretty much according to real-world data.
I'm getting alerts from people that they didn't hear that you got the GPS jamming, so
okay.
GPS
there we
lost.
go. Yeah. So, okay. We'll go through that in a second.
I know I heard you say it, but...
Yeah. No, people saw that it showed on the nav display there. Fantastic. Is remote EFB supported? Yes, Andrew. Yeah, it does. Either on a new monitor or a tablet, if you like. So yeah, so again, you can select how many failures. So if you want to have any failures, failure, the failure severity, you can choose. So depending on if you don't want to be disturbed by failures, you're on a VATSIM event or something, and you don't want that, you can select that. You can do and change the chances of some technical issues arising, which doesn't mean some major failures. It just means some normal technical stuff, pack failure, whatever, an electric generator failure or something. And then so Duncan, just quickly, because I do want to talk about this real quickly. So let's say on our flight now we get a generator 2 fault or something. So we land, and then after the aircraft has sensed ground or sensing the next flight, does this then pop up into the tech logbook here? Yeah,
so that's a really good point. There is a turnaround function in there, so that when you land, parked up at the gate, engines off, turnaround's ongoing, your tech log will then be updated, and the flight will be entered into the flight history page, which I think for you is probably blank at the moment, but it logs your flight, and then also your defect lists will be updated. So it gives you a little bit more of again, furthering that kind of living aircraft type feel.
Yeah.
So, and a quick note about the failure rates there. So you can actually, we default to minor failures only for the service-based failures, because if you go to all, then there's a possibility that something flight ending will happen. But as you said, the failure rate is set to is MTBF is real world data. Low is about 1 in 25, medium is 1 in 15 flights, and then high is 1 in 5 flights. So a little bit of a variety there as well. But yeah, the turnaround function, anything that comes out the service-based failure system will get added to the tech.
Nice. So I'm just seeing now, back to the topic GPS loss. So if you go and look at your positioning or GPS monitor page, so Bruno, I know Bruno was referring to this. So not only does the GPS position data disappear, now the time, however, and that was confirmed again by real-world pilots on their Airbus 320 or 321 series, so that time still is showing. So that does not go away, apparently. So, but we can see that we've lost the GPS information from both GPS. So what you see on your nav display 1 is GPS 1, on nav 2 is GPS 2. Right, so it could be that you only have one failed GPS system, but in this case, obviously, it has failed both. Now, how does this affect the accuracy of the position computation? Well, it depends on how many other sources you have available regarding DME distance, some VORs, for example, for bearing information. And if you go into position monitoring, you can see the calculated FMCG positions, and right now it is receiving 2 DMEs. So it's having a 3 IRS computation adjusted for accuracy with the DMEs here. So the accuracy itself right now will not degrade drastically. So the only real issue you would have right now without GPS information is that you would not be able to fly a RNAV GPS approach right now. That would be the limitation. And can you just talk a little bit about the coverage? So you taking real world data for that to compute GPS outages?
Yeah, so we took an average, and it again the GPS jamming areas, etc. They won't exactly match what's happening in the real world, but they'll be pretty close too, because we can update that document. We can update that system on the fly. So we did some analysis based on open source data on the jammers in use in various different places around the world, and then we've implemented those in here in order to give you a realistic profile when you enter an area that is subjected to that, whether that be Larnaca area, or whether that be maybe one of the missile test ranges in the United States or something like that.
Yeah. And people are asking about spoofing. So GPS spoofing is something different.
Yeah, so spoofing is a very different kettle of fish. We are implementing jamming.
Exactly. So using a rain prediction is advised now. I guess he's referring to the briefing documents where on that you actually can get predictions for your destination, alternate airports and route airports regarding GPS outages, etc., etc. I'm not sure if SimBrief actually does that, because I think I've only seen that on my real-world documents. But correct me if I'm wrong.
We actually do it in the aircraft as well now, because we have all the satellites. We know where all the satellites are versus where you are.
Nice.
So you can do checks.
Twin Driver, you're referring to backup navigation? If you say backup 3, so yeah, this is implemented. Yes, you can use backup navigation. I think that's quite interesting for real-world pilots. And one of the features I actually practiced with, for my sim rides, because I knew that that was a topic that was going to be checked. And so actually to have that in the sim here to practice with, it's great, really fantastic. As GPS jamming, well, I don't see how that would affect flying on VATSIM. I think it's a more for your own simulation, if you like.
I saw a question about what we think about 2024. It goes back to us being simmers first, right? I mean, right now it's a first release, and we all have to acknowledge that. Asobo and Microsoft have done an amazing and tremendous job bringing this sim out. Unfortunately, they've been inundated with some issues at the beginning, but it's all growing pains, and we need to cut them some slack. It's going to get there. And we feel for them as developers. We feel the stress that they must be feeling, and we feel that they're all going to be having some sleepless nights. So, as a community, I think we've grown a little bit, I mean, myself included, we've grown a little bit too entitled, maybe, if I can use that term, to expect everything. So, yeah, I mean, it's hundreds of thousands of people all hitting servers at once. And these guys have done wonderful things fixing those things within 3 or 4 days. And, the order of magnitude of difficulty this must be compared to what we do is tremendous. So I can only feel sympathetic towards them right now,
Yeah.
But in terms of the sim itself, it's wonderful. It's next level, the graphics and all that.
Yeah. For me, so I complain quite often about flight model here in Microsoft 2020, but of course the visuals and so on, they have become so far. And if you guys think, you know, where do we come from? So this was one of my first streams in 2016, right? And that was back then. I'm not sure. Was that P3D already, or was that FSX? I think it was P3D back then, right? But it was the FSLabs. That was the reason actually I actually got into flight stream or flight sim streaming.
VOR approach on runway 28. Another go round.
That's Zurich, right? So again, guys, and that's not that long ago, right? So, you know, we have come so far, and the flight sim experience is now so beautiful, right? Exactly. We have to be just take a step back sometimes and remind ourselves how lucky we are, right, to have this now. And at a cost, I mean, let's face it, honestly, if you want a more in-depth experience, go and hire a level D simulator for 340 euros. Do that, and you get 20 minutes stick time, and then, you know, maybe that gives you a little bit more immersion. I don't know, but that's a very expensive way to do it, right? So I see the same.
It also gives you very bad EPR indications on the way down. So
yeah. So that's the thing, right? Yeah, I think as well. We shouldn't be so critical all the time and complain all the time. The printer working. So I think, are you referring to external connections? So I know that some people had external printers at some time.
Yeah, and we kept that functionality, so you can print externally. The in-cockpit printer, you won't see anything physically come out of it, but you can physically print to a 58mm thermal printer or something like that. That's what a lot of people use, I think. You can print to that using the AOC system.
There we go. And one thing I really haven't shown today, so whenever you request weather information example, you get your load sheet, you get SIGMETs as well here. They will pop up, right? And you can get there and just read that. So really nice. Same for the VATSIM ATISes. They will then, after you request them, come up here on the EFB. So really nice. Just get weather here, 340 at 7. So let's see what 347. Yeah, I'm still going to go with the runway 22 approach because it is a bit nicer. Maybe we can do a visual approach, which I've done IRL here in Larnaca, so always beautiful. I think so VRAM usage is a bit I don't know, it doesn't make sense to compare VRAM usage because I'm using DX12 with frame generation, and we know that DX12 just uses a lot more VRAM. So it doesn't say anything for those people, let's say, that have DX11 or something, right? So that's why I don't really see a point. Oh, Fishy, thank you so much for the 10 gifted. Thank you very much. Sorry, go ahead, Left Harris.
So no, I just wanted to answer the question about the wipers. I think what we did with the wipers is something that you haven't seen before, where it doesn't only clean the rain on glass, but it also fails if you use them when you shouldn't. So yeah,
okay.
I'm expecting a lot of people to complain that, hey, my wipers are not working.
Oh,
but...
no, I've broken it. Oh no.
Just
saying it. Oh no.
So now you have to land like that.
Oh no, really?
I think you just got dunked.
Oh no.
Yep.
I actually made a command. I made a command for that. Yeah, you've been dunked. Oh no. What, seriously? Is there a way I can fix it in the menu somewhere? Probably, right? So,
yeah, you should be able to, if you turn it back to off and then clear the failure, I think that would.
there we go. Oh, let me just clear that one. Doesn't matter. Right, so there we go. Yeah, I don't know. But yeah, there you go. So again, one of those little items that if you don't use these systems properly, then you will break stuff, right? Same with if you use reverse thrust at taxi speeds, you actually here in the FSLabs, potentially damaging the engines. It does have consequences. And Mundos, thank you so much for watching. It really does. One of the EasyJet inside the cockpit. I think it broke the wiper. Yeah. Oh, okay. Oh yes, good question. So let's say, so they're asking regarding GLS, SLS, and FLS approaches. Are they available here in the FSLabs?
We haven't added FLS this time round. However, it's on that long list. It's on that list of items that we are working to bring in the relative short term.
Yeah. Thank you much. Right, so we're almost there. I'm gonna go hurry up. And guys, I will hand you over as soon as we've landed to Johnny. It's a flyboy. He's also streaming the FSLabs A320. He's a real-world A320 pilot. So he'll have a lot more stuff to talk about. Maybe some different stuff than I've talked about. And the developers, they're having a long day today, so they will be heading over as well to Johnny's stream to answer the questions there. Is there going to be an 8th and Marcus a 2024 version? Yes, there is. I guess he joined a bit late. Yes, there will be. Yes. Guys, have I missed something that you feel I should really just quickly show and talk about? And again, the thing is that there's so many features that are in the aircraft that we can't or haven't showed, don't have the time to show yet. So
I'm going through my list to see if there are any items that you've missed. There's a lot of technical stuff that you can talk about in the AFP, and there's a lot of AOC stuff, but this will get technical, and I think you need to be showcasing it in a separate screen.
Exactly. So
like there's ground services from MacCall button. There's a walk around of the aircraft that you can. We talked about the brake dust on the rims, how it gets worn, and your hard landings, and if you get on the brakes too much, etc., etc. You can have the performance page. You can have your speeds can be uplinked from the EFB. The AOC menu or the EFB can select pushback facing and de-icing. You haven't touched de-icing at all because, hey, we have good weather here. But I think that you need to do another stream with the de-icing because that on its own can take a good amount of time, because not only do we have de-icing, but we have the necessity to actually wait for it after you've de-iced. You can't just de-ice and go, like you would expect. The frequencies on the radios and how it cooperates with VATSIM and eval, the volume on COM1.
Yeah.
Sensitivity of brakes, if they're hot, they become hotter, and so they become more sensitive after a short turnaround. Someone asked about the bug splatters, and yes, we have gone to the depths of modeling how much the bug splatters will appear depending on time of day, location, and whether you're in winter ops or anywhere humid or things like that. Yeah, that was my list for now, but I'm sure that we will pick up on a lot more stuff when we actually release. The other thing I wanted to point out is that we took great care to go and look at the flight modeling that needed to be done for MSFS, because it's a completely different platform. So the work there was redone from scratch. So a lot of work Andy did on the LAC and the SEC and all on the computers. The ground handling is different. All the flight modeling, the flight management computer work was redone, and so on and so forth. So I know people have been asking about that, and yes, a lot of that has been redone.
Yeah.
And definitely all our real world pilots who are on our beta team have manifested that it really feels like an Airbus, the inertia that it has.
Yeah.
Because it's a bigger aircraft than a 320, right? You can feel it in the seat. When I did my PPL, you could feel the aircraft on the seat, so on your butt, let's say.
Yeah.
So that's where it feels. That's what it starts feeling real, And I don't know if you're sharing that feeling right now, but I think you are.
Yeah. Exactly. So I was going to add to that. So my plan is, if I get the permission, of course, is to continue to stream the FSLabs over the next couple of days, and then do a flight around Europe. So I'm going to go up north where it's colder. We're going to get to some snowfall, etc., etc., and then I will be able to demonstrate more, the normal use, so the daily use, and you will see how the aircraft ages. You will see how certain technical issues arises. So it'll showcase more the real aspects of the FSLabs, right? It's difficult to do that all now in 1-2 hour stream. So this is just initial, demonstration, and having the developers here in the stream to answer your questions. And a lot of questions were more related to NEO and pricing and release date, etc., which I understand is interesting, but of course that's not really the reason why I want to showcase the FSLabs, right? So over the next streams we will be seeing that a lot better.
Another thing I wanted to add is I know that there are some add-on products that feature new effects like Elmos and all that we had in P3. We bring that in to you for free in our product. They're all embedded and integrated. So, all your smoke and haze and all that stuff, all the good stuff that if you go to the north and you fly through terrain, through thunderstorms and things like that, you get the Sen Elmos fire effect, which is amazing.
Exactly, Elm's fire. Yeah, I've seen that in P3. That was already really, really cool to see. And it's the cool thing is if it happens when you actually least expect it, that's just so great.
Yeah, and I'm sure you'll find it in your way once you fly into some cold weather.
Yeah, absolutely. So somebody asking regarding thrust levers. Yes, so you have a menu here: 1 levers, 2 levers. If you have a reverse on the stick, you can then have your D10 settings changed here to your peripherals. Yes, it all has that. It had it in P3D. It has that here as well. Right, guys. So we are overhead the airfield. So let's do something we love doing most, and that is just to hand fly the aircraft down on the visual approach. We'll have the flight directors off.
If I may say something really quickly before I hand it off to you to do the landing, I would be amiss not to mention the wonderful documentation that our doc writers created. People should read it and follow the tutorials because they'll understand all the work that has gone into this product. So, kudos. That's all I can say.
Excellent, yeah. And I will demonstrate those documents when we get these topics on a normal kind of, operation, flying around Europe. So that surely will be demonstrated a lot better.
Looks like your hand flying is going very well.
It's beautiful. So let me put that there so I can see my inputs there. So here comes flaps 1, trying to get the VLS down.
2,500.
No, that was too much. Yeah, that was my bad. There we go. Will the Airbus Thrustmaster side stick thrusters work on default? I think, like in many add-ons, you're going to have to do some calibration. I have not found a hardware peripheral that works instantly without having to calibrate things.
Oh, and another thing, speaking of calibrations and buttons and hardware, don't forget to undo the avionics off setting.
Oh yeah. I don't know how did you get to that point? I mean, who would have avionics modeled on a hardware peripheral?
Not only that, it sent every single frame.
Yeah. Oh, that was a nightmare of mine. Yeah, guys. So, yeah, if you have, let's say, the Bravo throttle quadrant, Asobo was so nice to automatically model, battery switches, avionic switches on your buttons automatically without asking you and without telling you that they've done that. So, so if the button isn't off, then your VORs, for example, won't work here in the sim. But yeah, Asobo doesn't tell you, right? So that was a nightmare to find out.
I'm just glad you found out and we can clean it up.
I'm so embarrassed that how many hours did we spend? 3 hours trying to figure that out? Oh.
Try 7?
Oh no! Oh no! So guys, if there's any delay for the release, that's partly my fault, okay?
No. You helped so much, so don't worry.
Right, so let's see if I can get the aircraft now into the right path here on final. Excuse. Yeah, no, that was oh, terrible. No, the documents will be available. When everything's published, guys. So they're still polishing things off. I don't think anybody ever presented documents before the release of an add-on. Is it possible to switch standby instrument? So, for example, yeah, well, you can activate, deactivate the RMI, for example. Can you get the old artificial horizon, the standby horizon?
No, we have not modeled that.
No.
You can get through the MCDU options. You can get the DDRMI popping up now. If you want. Yeah, I mean, you shouldn't do that right now.
No,
yeah.
But you can do
beautiful
it. Yeah. It's flying around the localizer there.
Yeah.
Yeah. So hand flying again. Doing direct comparison between the Phoenix and the. I'm not saying it's going to be the same for everyone because that does depend on your hardware peripherals. But I like how it just feels nice and natural here. So the inputs having the influence on the aircraft, and the main biggest difference really that stands out to me is the flare of the aircraft. Probably going to slam it now because I've I've said this now, but
1,000.
Oh yeah, auto brake it, right. Take that low because 3 things to get fixed before release. I honestly can't really think of much. So of course, as you know, they want this product to be finished completely. Of course, then I'm sure they have some things to work on, but. Like I said, I've not had an add-on given to me that already feels so finished. So
okay, if Rihanna says we need to publish now,
300.
Yeah, it'll be done when it's done.
But beautiful. You can see the inputs that I'm doing, the direction of the aircraft. Very nice. So key thing as always, Airbus trying to get the 50 feet gate
100.
correct with tailwind.
50, 40, 30, 20, retard 10, 5.
Nice. You see how it settles down? There's not the floatiness that you have on the compared to the Phoenix. That's what I've noticed definitely. Can't get the right reverse. There we go. Now the reverse. So speed brakes, reverses, decel. Manual brakes here. Right, I want to demonstrate one quick thing before you guys are going to head off to Johnny's stream. So on the services page, you said connections, services, right, Andy? There we go.
Yeah, that should have really been something that you can set up before landing. So if you're using the EFB, it just goes through the conventional GSX menu system.
Okay, because I'm not sure I saw the uplink there. Okay, so then we would be able to select a gate here through the menu there. Oops. So normally when you can uplink regarding your gate, you would have that already implemented there.
You'd go through the AOC. So on the AOC main page, after liftoff, you'll see it gives you a stand. So if you get an ACARS come through with a stand assignment, it will auto-populate that in the AOC for you. Although you can enter that manually at any point before landing. And if you have populated that in the AOC menu, then upon landing, it will communicate that with GSX, and it will set that up for you on landing. And if you've requested a follow me, the follow me will be waiting for you at the end of the runway or when you vacate the runway.
Nice. Okay. Yeah, I'll have to demonstrate that once.
Yeah,
on the next
you just
flight.
need to remember to populate it before landing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now I have requested the follow me. Let's see how long it takes to get us here. Yeah. So big thank you to the developers, Lefteris, Duncan and Andy for coming in here. And I do apologize already for all the questions not being answered, but don't worry, you're going to get a chance now on another stream. So Flyboy, aka Johnny, will give you some more detailed information as he is a real-world rated A320 pilot. So there's the follow me. And the developers will be there as well to answer your questions. So if we've missed something here, please do. And we're going to raid Johnny's channel in a minute or two.
I just wanted to thank your viewers as well, and you know, for giving us the opportunity to showcase this and for asking these questions and giving us a chance to answer. Because I know that, you know, as a team we haven't been communicating so much, and so we kind of talked amongst ourselves a little bit as developers, and we said that we're going to start doing that a lot more and a lot more frequently now. Yeah. Because it's a pain point that we've all had, and I've been reading all the comments on our forums as well. I do appreciate them all. You know, any comment is good feedback for us, whether it's nicely written or whether it's a little less. But yeah, still, yeah. And above all, I just wanted to say thank you for taking the time to sit with us and learn what we've done, all the new features, which are, I mean, you know, we did 2 hours and it feels like we haven't even gone through 10% of what's new. Yeah. And you know, I appreciate this, and let's, if you want, we can resume this and we can do this again in the future.
Very nice. So yeah, we will follow along your process or your what's the word, development process, and yeah, when things you know, are worth mentioning again. But like I said, I'll be streaming more flights over the next week, doing a more kind of normal, everyday yeah, flying. So it's demonstrating all of the systems there, all of the features of the FSLabs. I'm just trying to concentrate on docking the aircraft here. And big thank you to my moderators. I know it's been crazy busy, so thank you so much to all of you who've helped out today. Thank you guys. Oh, the docking system is working today. That's interesting. Cool.
Do you have APU on?
Yeah, APU is running. I know people were saying I didn't start it, but I did press it then the second time. So
okay, I missed it. So sorry.
Yeah. So once again, thanks for giving me the opportunity to pre-release, try it out, and stream it here. I know it's always a risky thing. Especially when I do things wrong, and but I think you already saw that it's very stable, and performance is nice. Things are working. So there we go.
I'm really glad to be offered the opportunity to come and visit your stream. It feels like the old days again, you know?
Thank you. But I tell you what, I do feel the age, the technology. Oh, having to kind of juggle too many balls at the same time. Oh, it does take a toll on me. So
don't speak about age, or else we'll have to go to Cosford together. Oh yeah, is that happening?
I think Cosford is not happening anymore. I think it's like because of, well, not that they need visas or something, or maybe they do now. It's just I think for the GPS now back. You know, the developers to get to the UK now. With all that stuff, I guess it's a lot more complicated these days. So I know there's a venue in Holland, so Netherlands, these days, but I'm not sure if that's interesting for you.
You're talking about the FS weekend.
It's Leestad or something, yeah.
Leestad, yeah, we've been there in the past. It's a little bit more hardware oriented, but I think we had a stand there in the past. So yeah, why not? That sounds interesting as well. I mean, if your viewers want us there, I mean, you know, we'll definitely consider it. And we're also considering the FS Expo stuff in the US. Yeah.
Oh yes, I plan to go there next year as well. So
Don't tempt me.
so yeah, that's something I look forward to. Okay, guys, once again, thank you so much. Now I have overdone the time a bit, but I'm going to hand you over now to Flyboy, aka Johnny, and he's very capable, and we'll give you some more infos, guys. Please check out the channel, and I will put a raid command here. So thank you so much to everyone watching. Thanks for all the great questions. Thanks for the support coming in.
Thank you, BB.
Thank you so much, guys. And I will see you soon, very soon. Stay tuned on my Discord channel regarding announcements for the next stream. I'm really looking forward to trying out the FSLabs a lot more. So is Johnny already online? Let me see.
Yep.
Can one of my mods please post a quick link, maybe? And then I'll hand you over to that.
I think there was a shout out that just passed over, so yeah.
Oh, there we go. Right, thank you so much. And
See you there.
Thank you so much, guys. Take care.
Bye-bye.
Right, so let me go try that again. So that's Flyboy Aviation. There we go, now it's worked. Guys, thank you so much once again. Thank you for watching. Thank you for supporting. I do apologize for the sound issues at the beginning. Glad we got those fixed though. And do apologize if there are some questions that weren't answered. But I'm sure they will be on the next stream here. Hand you over now. So let's raid Flyboy. Take care, guys. See you soon.